Testing, 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 testing. Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to Mind Shift Monday. We are in the building. Okay. And definitely want to say, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to watch the replay, like, share, subscribe, and just be a part of this the history in the making, man. It's so many times where I could come on here and be like, nah, not today. But it's always something that just lifts me up. I'm like, no, you got something to say. Or it's something people need to know. Even if it's just enough to get your mind flowing in the right direction, or just to make you aware of certain things, because it may not even just be for you. It may also be for your children. It may be for the generation that's after you, right? And so these are just things that bring awareness to the front of our mind. All right. So welcome to Mind Shift Monday. All right. I'm moving things around, and we're going to go ahead and get started today. And the topic that we have for today is the pros and cons of AI. All right. Because there are pros and there are cons, right, of utilizing AI, dealing with mental health, right? especially I wanted to make sure that I continue to focus on mental health during this time. This is the last Monday in May. And like I said, it's a lot of M's in this month. We got May, we got mental health awareness, we got millions. Well, the debt ceiling really is billions, but it's millions and millions on millions that they've extended for the next 2 years, I think. And I'm going to get into that in another video. But we did review the debt ceiling and Title 42 and all of those things in the past recording. So make sure you check out the replay. And for the most part, we're dealing with the mental health side of AI and just some things to watch out for, pay attention to. Because just like with anything, whether it's the internet, whether it's reading a book, whether it's listening to somebody's information, including mine, you want to always, let me go ahead and bring it up for y'all, just in case it's your first time here. You want to do your own research, okay? All right? You want to, you got to, okay? So with that being said, welcome again to Mind Shift Monday, all right? Again, thanks for tuning in. Where we step out of our routine and mundane way of thinking and we shift to a higher perspective. We exercise everything else. So why not exercise the way that we think and see things? All right. Now these video streams are coming from a heart-based frequency. Okay. So let's go ahead and connect and dive in. All right. We got to make sure that we're on the same vibe, the same page. And even if we're not, okay, the information and even just you being here will get you there. All right. So with that being said, let's roll into it. All right. So I noticed a few things when I was even I've been using ChatGPT for like a few minor things. Dealing with writing, right? To kind of extend on my own writing, right? Just playing with it and just asking different questions, doing all type of things, just to see the extent of where it goes and the information that it can give you, right? And so I realized that something in me was like, yeah, you don't want to use this too often. If you use it, you want to use it for like creating something that you may have not thought you could create, right? Not thought you could create. Using it for something that you never thought you could create, right? Or maybe you knew you could create it, but it was like you just didn't know how, and you didn't really have the resources or the time or different things to make that happen for yourself, right? So within that time frame that I was utilizing ChatGPT, I noticed that utilizing it can diminish retaining information and using discernment, right? There was also a professor who actually gave his students some prompts to use. And if you don't know what the prompts are, those are basically like the questions or the description of what you want that specific AI or, that if it's Chat GPT or whatnot, which is pretty much the source of all the AI informations at this time from OpenAI. But if you use a prompt, and in this prompt, you either make a statement or you can ask it questions, or you can give it an idea of what you want, and then it'll go ahead and generate it for you. And then, of course, there are all different types of spin-offs now, or what they may even call, like in cryptocurrency, forks of AI. And that's pretty much where people utilize the API or the source code, and they create that, it's open source. So anytime something's open source, you're literally able to utilize that same information, certain code, and create your own thing utilizing that application or that software or that code, that created that thing, right? So moving forward, yeah, it's just I saw that it will diminish retaining information and using discernment, which I think memes have already done that. Memes have already literally taken away a lot of people's discernment and thought processes of just using their own mind, you know, being able to create. Now, of course, again, there are pros and cons because there are people who create memes or that create graphics, right, to catch people's attention, create ads, things like that. So it's like, again, it's just how are you utilizing it? How are you leveraging the technology? And, how is it beneficial for yourself and humanity, or just yourself and for what you're putting out into the world? Is it purposeful? Is it intentional? Is it chaotic? You might want to spark somebody's mind with something crazy, right? Because you just want to go to the depths of what can be created. And I mean, that's okay, that's art. But at the end of the day, intentionally, what are we doing? What are we creating? Right. And so with this, again, so there was a teacher, a professor, who basically gave their class prompts. And with these prompts, they basically had the students go in, utilize the prompt. I forgot exactly what it was, but basically it was just dealing with like an older time frame. And when the students, he got the information back from the students. And once the students came back with the information from AI, he was like, yeah, none of them noticed that none of the information was true, or half of it. It was like half and half. Half of the information was true. A lot of it was distorted, half truths. Like it was just a lot of false information in there. And a lot of the students didn't notice it, nor did they believe that it would actually happen. And so that's one part of the con to AI, right? And also, people taking in, it's just like regular social media or regular information. People taking in information, not doing their own research, not doing their due diligence in moving forward, and like just seeing, how does this actually work, or how can I really utilize this, right? And so again, I saw that it literally can diminish retaining information and just using discernment. So how many people can really tell the difference between an AI meme or picture and a regular picture, right? Like there are people fall for it every day, even again with regular memes, with regular images. Even just looking at the news, I remember when I first came into information, dealing with all the loopholes and things that you would go into when you're first finding out about like everything that is making the world work, behind the scenes. And shout out to Lennon Honor. He had a variety of videos on YouTube where he was just showing how the media will literally show you the same looping feedback over and over again. And they will even show you videos from like years ago, right? The same way how social media is. People will literally share information, and that information could have been like 20 years ago, or it could be a video, but they'll make it relevant and not even realize that, like, or 5 years ago, not realize that didn't happen yesterday, right? So again, that's also dealing with like, what reality are you in? What timeline are you in? Are you really present right now? So again, what are we creating? And so again, the one thing that I always want people to understand is, can you tell the difference? Even if you can't, I would just implore you to just type in AI images or something like that. If you're on Twitter or if you're on Instagram, go to a hashtag, go to an AI page or something like that, and just look at the difference between an image and then, a regular picture. You can see that it's blurred a bit. The faces are, they're more distinct, a lot smoother. I also saw that they did, and I'm gonna share a few of these too on my social media, but I also saw someone where they did a 70s type theme, and it looked like the 70s, but it was just too smooth. Like the original 70s pictures and the way they dressed is totally better, right? Of course, being innovative, you would say, "Oh, this looks great," because as art, it looks great. But the original is way better. You can tell the difference between the soul and it not actually being in the image, right? But that's another thing as well when utilizing AI that I realize is that if you over leverage too much, you put in too much of your information in, eventually you are literally giving yourself away, right? And next thing you know, like, what are you really remembering? Again, what are you retaining? Eventually you're going to get writers or creators block because you figuring it all out by putting everything in to get it back from something that really is still a baby. It's still learning the way that you are. It's replicating us, right? So those are just a few things dealing with mental health that we need to pay attention to and that other people should be paying attention to as well, when dealing with AI and all of those different things. And again, like I said, it's pros to it and it's cons to it. I can say some pros to it would be the fact that you can leverage it, right? That you can actually utilize it to like release some things that you don't need to be doing every day, right? Like sending emails. Like there are so many different companies, or again, like I said before, that have forked off because it's open source. So anybody can create their own application off of Chat GPT and that open source code, right? But for the most part, uh, you can leverage it like just by everyday things. There are plugins where you can have I think it's Auto GPT, where you can just tell it exactly what you need from point A to point Z, and it will literally find all the resources. It will literally pay for the subscription. It will do everything it needs to do to get it done for you. And all you have to do is just make sure all your information is in the system. It has access to everything it needs to get it done. So if it needs to pay for something, if it needs to do this, if you need to order some flowers, if you need to order some this, some that, like it literally will have the whole process. You need to create a wedding plan, or you need to create an event from start to finish, and you need the tools to make sure people can register online, all that type of stuff. It will literally do that from start to finish for you, right? So there are some great things that can be leveraged for this. Even with dealing with mental health, it could just be easy, where there's a website, or if a person has their own website, and they're a therapist or something like that, they can have a chat, after hours chat where, maybe their patients, if somebody comes to their website and they just have some questions, and they can insert those questions, and there can already be prompts and answers that can help them get right to the key resources if for some reason they can't find it on the website. Like there are so many variety of ways that this could be taken advantage of, right? But it's just like anything, just like technology, just like the internet, just like gossip, just like anything. Like you have to just use discernment and know what it is that you're looking to create. Okay. So let's see. So when utilizing Chat GPT too much, especially to create new information, unless you are leveraging, and I might be repeating myself, unless you are leveraging it to add to what you want to express, then when you eventually run into writer's block or creator's block, similar information overload, except the reverse. It's like you'll pretty much have information overload, but it's like the reverse because you put the energy into the thing. Like you literally put your own consciousness, the way that you could have sat still and went for a walk and maybe just wrote a question down and got that information yourself. You've given away your I don't want to say authority, but you've pretty much given away your own essence of yourself to say, all right, just help me out this one time. And you can literally feel it, like I've been using Chat GPT just on minor things. And every time I use it, I would say that it's a great tool to use. AI is a great tool to use when you want to create something that you didn't really think you could create, or you want to create it in a grander way, right? Or in an even quicker way. Like you didn't think you could create a video that could come out as a film and have all these graphics and stuff like that. You might have to use different plugins, but you can literally use the AI tools to do that in a short amount of time, where it usually could have taken you a month to 30 days or longer to create. If you really dedicated and focused, it could take you like 8 hours or 3 hours or 30 minutes, or it just depends on what you're doing. So there's a lot of leverage that can be utilized. Let's see. So now the great part about automation, which has been around for a very long time, because again, it's just automated intelligence, right? Automation has been around for a very long time. All right. Emails are automated, ads are automated. So it's nothing new. It's just a slight advancement that gives us leverage to lessen the burden of certain tasks that we do consistently, that either a virtual assistant can do, or AI, Bing, ChatGPT, you name it, whichever one you want to use, Auto GPT, UGPT. It's so many GPTs now. It's wild. So the more we integrate our lives into this way of being, the more we will begin to develop into a dystopian society that we have seen in movies, right? So, back in the day, it used to be this whole thing where it was like, all these futuristic movies, all of this, using technology without even having a computer, I mean, look the phone. We already got the Apple Watch, all the watches on the wrist and stuff like that. So it's like we're literally here already. You feel me? We're already here. But the thing is, how can we utilize this to the point where we don't dig ourselves into like a hole of no return, point of no return. I mean, wherever that society is headed, that's cool. But as far as mental health goes, and as far as us keeping a clear mind and being discerning, how can we utilize this to where we can still pivot and either, leverage the technology, or some people may decide to say, hey, you know what? I think I'm about to throw the deuces and I'm going to just be offline. And I think a lot of people are going to start doing that, because at the end of the day, that disconnection is needed. Okay, because we're being literally sucked into a technology void, right? And it's been happening already, but now more than ever, there's just so much leverage and so much of our time, like how are we really focusing on anything unless you're utilizing it for business, unless you're utilizing it. I know people use it to keep up with their family, their friends. You might read a book, listen to a book, all these different things, so again, the pros and cons. But the future of this, right, when dealing with our mental health, is a lot of people, which they're already doing, are going to choose to stay offline. If they need to use it, they will. But this again is still leading to the same type of societies that we've seen in the movies, those dystopian ways where it was like you got a group of people where they offline. You can't find them unless you go into that special cave down the dirt desert tropical forest somewhere, and then you appear through a portal or some shit, like, like, or and then you have the people that are just like all the way in, and which way do you go? So I just think, we don't have to think too far into it, but the details of how you want to see society, not just for yourself, but also for the future generations, because they're the ones that are really going to be intertwined into this. And so it's just imperative that you have a healthy balance, right? That you know that it's imperative to get outside and, make sure that you are staying hydrated, that you are not necessarily glued to technology to the point where it's literally like beginning to be embedded in your hand. I mean, our phones stay on us like clockwork. So it's literally like another hand, pretty much, another extension of ourselves. And so, mental health is at play due to, again, I could see people basically just really letting their mind go and giving everything over to, whichever form of AI they utilize, especially with videos and images that can be created. Like, who is to say that what we are looking at already isn't AI generated, especially when we use filters, right? Everything we utilize already is dealing with some type of automation, right? So these are just things. I mean, we wake up automated. You wake up, you go to the bathroom, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you the things that we do, you may say automated rituals or something like that. It's just certain things. So more than ever, I just think it's imperative that, for mental health awareness, that we do just pay attention to, how far we're going with AI and just the different things that are taking place. Again, it's pros and cons. There's a beauty in everything, and there's leverage to it all to where it can be beneficial, and again, it can become dystopian, right? So that's pretty much all I really have for today, y'all. Like, it's just, I appreciate people for coming through, dropping in. You can definitely catch the replay. I'm keep this one probably short today, just so I can go ahead, chop it up, put it out, do what we got to do. And hopefully I'll be able to put out some more quicker, just other videos to go deeper into certain skills, different things to leverage this type of technology, especially people who are still working and just organization, all type of stuff. So again, this is definitely Mindshift Monday. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the last Monday in May, but there are so many M's right now. The debt ceiling, literally millions on millions, well, it's really billions for the next 2 years, unlimited. I'm going to get into that in another video. Then it's May, then it's mental health awareness, and it's Mindshift Monday. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. And again, it's a heart-based frequency. So if you came through, you can always check the replay, like, share, subscribe, and I will see y'all soon, next Monday or wherever on social media, anywhere. All right, so enjoy your evening and all love. All right, see y'all later.